It's 6 o'clock on Tuesday, June 25th, 2024, and I call this meeting of the City Personnel and Finance Committee to order. Item number 2, approval of vouchers.
I will make a motion to approve the vouchers.
I'll second the motion.
A motion's been made and seconded to approve the vouchers. Are there any additional questions other than the ones that were already asked?
Not from me, no.
I have no questions on the vouchers.
All right. If not, a motion's been made and seconded to approve the vouchers. All those in favor signify so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The vouchers are approved. Consider approving minutes from the previous meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I will second the motion.
A motion made and seconded to approve the minutes from the May 28th meeting. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The minutes are approved. General agenda items for consideration. Review of 2024 borrowing and future levy implications from Finance Director Lay.
Great. So we didn't get a chance to go through Brian's presentation at the June council meeting. So I just wanted to go highlight a couple things just to make sure we all understand what happened and what's going on with the borrowing. This is the same presentation that was handed out at the June council meeting. So this is just a list of the projects that we approved, 2023 and 2024 projects. LaDonna had some good questions when we met today. On the second page of the 2024 projects, it says that TID 7, $600,000 for Spruce Street is not included. It's not included in this section. It is included in the borrowing. So I just wanted to make that clear. Okay. Next page is the note anticipation notes. Again, we've seen that before. The dollar amounts are higher though because it does include the cost of the borrowing. We all good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then we've just got a summary of the different issuances. And the next page, the GO borrowing capacity impact. So this one is looking at our state limit for our debt borrowing. And so we have currently 16 million outstanding, that's principal. Because of the allowable limit, we have 16 million left. So that's what that remaining means. We have about 51% of our capacity left. After we borrow, we're going to have about $19 million of outstanding debt. That's principal only. And then we'll have 13 million in capacity. And then the last bullet point, projected, is just saying that in 50 years we'll be back under 50%, and in 7 years we'll be under 75%, assuming no additional borrowing. Any questions there? Okay, this next page, the levy for debt service with new debt, option 1. This is the one that I really wanted to highlight. If you look at the red bar, the red line, that is the tax levy for the debt service. And if you look between 2024 and 2025, there's a jump there. And again, we didn't borrow in 2023, so that sort of created a downward slope, but we're jumping back up and we're actually issuing 2 years worth of debt. So I just want to highlight and make sure everyone's aware that bump is coming. What Brian did when he was looking at our debt, he did option 1 and option 2. What he tried to do was reconfigure the debt service to see if he could make that impact a little bit smaller. And the way he did that was by only paying interest for a couple of years. But if you look at it, there really is no measurable impact between those two options. And it's just deferring the debt service. So my recommendation is to do option 1 and just make regular principal payments because we're not saving. The impact of doing that is not enough to be really useful.
It's actually costing us more for option 2, correct?
Correct. Yep. You're paying principal only, so you're deferring. I'm sorry, the other way. You're paying interest only. You're deferring your principal. Okay. The next couple slides are just looking at the different tax increment districts with the new debt included. And then, I don't know what slide it is. Page 106 of 125 is just a list of the recommended actions. And that's making going through making all of the eligible districts donors, so that if we need to, we can have that in place so they can donate to TID 9 or TID 10 if necessary. And so that would be amending those project plans to make them donor districts.
Is that something that we need before the review, or not the board review, but?
Joint review board, yes. Yep, and we would do all of those concurrently, so we do it all at the same meeting.
Correct.
Yeah. Good question.
Emily, were you able to find that TID that I mentioned that seemed to have a small balance?
Oh, no, I forgot to look at that. Thank you. I'll write it down again. Okay, that's all I have. Anybody have any questions?
When do you want to have the joint review board meeting? Is that something that we work with Brian and then he'll kind of give us guidance of?
Yes, yep. I wouldn't say before August.
Okay.
We won't be ready.
Right. I still need one person under it, so.
Would that need to occur before or after the borrowing is approved?
Independent.
Okay.
It's more of a down the road thing. All right, any other questions, the finance director? Hearing none, we'll turn to item number 2, the Bierman Foundation turnout gear and mattress summary update, which provided in the packet for us. Does anybody have any questions on that grant? And for those who are new to the council or new to the committee, we asked 2 years ago that whenever a donation or a grant is given, that the finance P&F committee be made aware of it and kind of approve it, just so we don't, you don't want somebody buying a large item which costs us so much money on the long run of maintenance and whatnot. So that's why we just kind of want to overview and also make sure that we're all aware of the generosity being given to the city as well. So that's the purpose of this coming for us. Any questions? We're just moving right along. Number 3, discuss and consider closed sessions. I believe Mr. Hayden's going to lead us in this discussion.
Well, I've handed out information from the League of Wisconsin Municipalities, Lori, and also for Wisconsin Valley Library Service, I believe. Came up with the same advice. Basically, it's short. A body can exclude, other than the Common Council, this body, the Common Council can exclude members other than their members from any closed session. A subcommittee of the Common Council may not exclude a council member. So in other words, any council member is welcome at any committee meeting. When it gets into the independently created bodies, that is where the body itself, Police and Fire Commission, the Library Board, can limit closed sessions to their own members. I know it's been the practice in many communities that, as a matter of course, Common Council members are allowed at all. And that is totally up to the body. I know I recall many years ago in Superior, and I remember there was the real brouhaha over who was allowed in Police and Fire Commission meetings. And it's members of the Police and Fire Commission and whoever they care to have them. And the same goes for the other commissions. And this is just to keep, not to keep anybody out, but to keep the commission in a truly independent body, or that's it. That's the philosophy. As a practical matter, if someone wants to appear before or attend the committee meeting, it's nice to let the chairman know, so he knows the body might have to act on it if there's some question. But it is totally up to the body. They do not have to let anybody else.
And I think that the Police and Fire Commission one that you talked about, we actually had a member of the Common Council that sat on that commission for a while, but then it became questionable from what happened in the Green Bay case.
Once you're on-
And that's why we had to remove him at that point from the commission. He wasn't real happy about coming off, but he understood. And, and I guess that's, so that, it's even the city plan commission, though, the way I
You're
read,
correct. Yes, it is.
read this, so the city plan commission, library board, and the police and fire commissions they have discretion of who they want in,
Who they're going to.
who they're gonna allow in their closed
or
sessions.
Invite into their meetings. That's
Right.
absolutely correct.
Right.
And you get into other commissions too. You got the transit commission.
Right,
You know, I mean, that's generally, that's anybody that wants to show up can do that, but they have the same right and same authority.
right. So transit that would fall under this. What about airport?
Airport, same way.
Okay. So they could exclude members
Anyone that's
of
not a member of that commission.
that commission, okay.
Yeah.
And then Park and Rec, though, that is a subcommittee of,
No, that is a separate commission.
so that would be included
Same-
too?
Same way. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
And the simple thing is, if someone wants to address that body, talk to the chair, and see if that is going to be a problem. It might delay an appearance before that commission if it really is an issue, but that's the way it is.
okay. Well, I think that this clears it up. I mean,
Yeah,
because
it's pretty clear.
I was under the impression that it was police and fire we couldn't, but I didn't know about the library. So, I mean, that's on me for not knowing that, and the other commissions also, so. I think that it's good that we got this cleared up. I think that's why I asked to have this put on this agenda so that it is clear.
No, and it's 100% good for all of us to know kind of where, our limits are. So I
Correct.
agree, and I thank everyone for looking into this matter.
Again, that's only closed session.
That's only closed,
It's only
right?
closed session.
Yep, otherwise it's.
It's an open meeting to anybody, right?
Sure.
Yes.
I will expound a little further. And for those not familiar with the Green Bay case, you had an alderman that sat on police and fire, and a police officer came in front of him, and he was under the disciplinary process, and they made a decision what to do. It then went in front of the common council, and he's already been, he already saw the movie, he knows how it's going to end, and he kind of told everybody what's going to happen, and the police officer rightfully sued them for a lot of money and won, because you have a tainted council, because you have a guy in this case, a guy that was in dual positions he shouldn't have been. Another issue in the past, in my opinion, is that previous councils under previous administrations routinely threw out our city clerk, and with no good reason, and I believe our clerk, no matter elected or appointed, is kind of a parliamentary, I can't say that, to keep an eye on us and make sure we do things the right way, and that disappointed me when that happened, and I don't ever want to see that again. But then again, if her husband has a gas station and we want to buy that to put in a new roundabout, and we're going to meet in closed session to discuss how much we're going to offer him, she can't really sit in that meeting as well because she has a conflict of interest. So there are conflicts, even in a committee level, that we may have to discuss as we go
Yeah, especially,
further.
let's be practical, it's life in a small town. These things come up, and we got to deal with them as best we can.
May I just make sure I have the correct, so I can put it in the minutes for future? Okay, so the library board, transit commission, park and rec, police and fire, airport, and city plan. Were there any more?
That was it.
That was it? Tourism, I suppose, would be in there too, if they're a commission.
Mhm.
If they're a commission, I would.
What do you, Tom, was
But
that?
Yeah, they could.
Right.
They could.
Okay.
But, there's not.
Just so if
such
there's a
bad
question,
group anyway.
yeah, so if
Not
there's a
too many
question
closed
down the
sessions.
road, then it'll be in the minutes. Okay, thank you.
My other fear too, and I asked Tom or Bob about the Winnebago County decision, which goes back to when J.B. Van Hollen was our Attorney General, and what Winnebago County, their county board members got paid for every meeting they went to, so they all went to the meetings. They had retired, nothing better to do. And we have a quorum of the common council here, and we could have a council meeting.
You got to be so careful.
Yes, and
That's
so-
why we have agendas.
And you do not see me at other meetings unless I have a reason to be there, and that's what, I invite anyone, but just remember, if you're gonna participate, you really can't participate in this because we're then creating a quorum of the council or the cow, so it's just something to be careful of. Anyone's welcome in the audience, but we have to be careful how we allow
Interact.
people to interact.
Should also be noted, information given in a closed session should remain in that closed session, and if it is abused, I think the council does have the right to, I wouldn't say remove people, but not allow them in if it's a pattern, so it's also that.
Right. Anything more discussion on that? If not, we'll move on to the monthly reports. Mayor Haas.
Be happy to answer any questions.
Moving on to City Administrator Aki.
Busy with projects right now. Things are going well with our new engineer hire, so I can hopefully focus more on this position. So down the road, hope to have more on my report than a few items.
And I heard some compliments about that gentleman from the O'Day Street group until they cut our water off.
Win some, you lose some.
City Finance Director Lay.
Any questions?
City Clerk Anderson Malm.
You missed. You
Missed
missed
one.
Tom.
Oh, well, Tom will always
Well,
have, Tom was always at the end.
I don't want to jump out of order.
City Attorney Hayden, do you have anything to add? Any questions for him?
I have a question that might kind of apply to both Tom and to Emily. Emily's report with the cash and investment fund, and it's on page 118 of 125, where it shows the reserves for that TID 3 for that dark store situation. Is there any information or any update as to?
I think it's final, but who knows, there's always the U.S. Supreme Court, and nobody, as far as I know, nothing's there yet, but I think we're gonna be all right.
Okay, just kind of curious as to how long that will sit out there to.
Yeah, somebody runs it, so I'd take that to the court, federal court, and go back. But I believe, and this is just rumblings, I heard my friend last week, I was over to Cross for a day and a half with city attorneys, and people believe that issue is settled. There's people who are so leery, nobody wants to talk about it, just in case something come up. The room with too many lawyers in it, but, so I think that's all right.
Okay.
Just a side note on that, it is very amazing that 9-year-old children can practice law in this state. I did not realize that. I was sitting next to a young man that
And you walk in, it's like the Abe
the
Abe Vigoda pool. You made her back.
It's unnerving might be a little strong, but it certainly made an impression.
No hints?
All right, now we'll move on to City Clerk Anderson Malm.
I'm just getting ready for the elections again. Sent out the absentee ballots yesterday, so they'll be starting to come in. And
I haven't seen anything on TV about this election, though, huh?
well, it's the partisan primary,
Yes.
but it's starting to get busy.
August 13th.
August 13th. So that means then the council is that following Wednesday, the 14th.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm leaving on the 16th, so that's good. All right, monthly report for the municipal court. Representative didn't quite make this meeting, so we'll consider that on file. I'll entertain a motion to place the monthly reports on file.
I will make that motion.
I will second the motion.
Motion made and seconded to place the monthly reports on file. All those in favor signify so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same side. That measure is approved. Item number 6, public comment. Is there any public comment from the audience or anyone on the phone? Second call for public comment. And a third and final call for public comment. Established date and time of next meeting. We are told the best day is July 23rd at 6 p.m. Any discrepancies with that?
No, I got none.
If-
My son's birthday,
Oh, we can bring him along. If he has cake.
Is he 9?
He's practicing law. What?
It's a tough crowd.
The committee may convene in a closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute, Section 19.85, Parent 1, Parent G, conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation which it is likely become involved, conferring with legal counsel regarding pending litigation. Second reason for a closed session is again the same section, 19.85, Parent 1, Parent C, to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or evaluation, performance evaluation data of any public employer which a governmental body has a jurisdiction or exercise responsibility, and that is discuss union contracts and compensation for special events. Clerk, can you call a roll call vote for the closed session?
You need
Yeah.
a motion
I'll make a
first.
motion to
Oh, yeah.
go into closed session.
There you go.
I'll second it.
Okay. A motion been made and seconded to go into closed session. The clerk, would you call the roll call vote? Sorry.
Mr. Kaler,
Aye.
Ms. Vermanek,
Aye.
Mr. Meyer.
Aye.
All right, 3-0.
Okay.